Good evening. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, the liberated zones of Africa. Let me not forget to mention Burkina Faso, led by President Ibrahim Traore. Let me mention Mali, led by President Assimi Goïta. Let me once again mention Niger, led by President Abdurrahman Tian. Good evening to all those liberated zones who are under the French colony, still struggling to liberate themselves absolutely from the colonizer. The lions of the Sahel states, the three lions of the Sahel states fighting bitterly to through uh, uh, all by all means possible. They by all means possible, the lions of the Sahel fighting bitterly to the end in Burkina Faso. Good evening to President Zuma in South Africa. Good evening to the MK party, which is the only party fighting the British Empire. The British are also colonizers. They've got many countries in Africa under their governance. South Africa is one of the British colonies. Um, People like saying former British colonies. South Africa is not a former British colony. South Africa is a current British colony uh, because Britain has never ceased to be the colonizer. The British continued to colonize South Africa even under the ANC, even under Mandela. The British had never stopped colonizing South Africa. Today, I want to talk about. My name is Mnguni Mkonto, and this is the Royal Opinion. Thank you very much for those who are catching the session or those who will catch the session later. You can click the like button and subscribe. Give us your opinion. Today, we're talking about I want to talk about two important issues. Two important issues. One is, why is it easier for South Africa to get invaded by white people? Why is it easier for white people to invade South Africa? And then the second one, I want to talk about the impact of AI. What would be, I just want to give an account and give a royal opinion about artificial intelligence. Like I said, uh, I appreciate very much those who are subscribing in the channel. Keep on subscribing. Those who are liking and sharing their videos, keep on doing their good work. You can go on and click the like button and subscribe if you are seeing this face for the first time or if you are coming across this video for the first time. Okay, let's get into what we are talking about. Uh, in 1948, after the end of the First World War, the people who were in Palestine saw their land being invaded by the people who were said to be victims of the Holocaust, meaning the victim of the man called Adolf Hitler, who is said to have committed a genocide on Israelites. The evil people, the people who plans the things that must happen in our countries, in 1948, they have planned because they wanted to capture the Middle East. They wanted to create a state of Israel. In actual fact, they wanted to create the state of Israel somewhere in Uganda, in Africa. Their first option was Uganda. They wanted to create Israel either in Uganda or Kenya, uh, or South Africa. That's why they wanted to create Israel. But at the same time, they wanted a strategic position which will help them to exploit oil in the Middle East. So, I mean, the Middle East is a strategic place because it's in between Africa and Europe. It's a land in between Africa and Europe. So it gives the United States access, easy access to the countries in the Middle East, to the countries above, or to the countries in the north and also in the south. So the Middle East is a boundary between Africa and Eastern Europe and Europe as well. So it's a strategic place. So the Rockefellers chose Palestine as a place where they can relocate people who were victims of World War II. They say they were victims of the Holocaust. These were people whom they, at the end, termed the Israelites, while even that is questionable. So, at the end of the day, the British Queen and the family I have mentioned decided to take the land in Palestine, to take Gaza as Israel, and to remove and alienate or kill the people who were occupying the place before, which are the people who are from Palestine. That's where the war started in 1948 up to date. The war is still raging. Israel is still committing genocide um, in Palestine. Palestinians or Palestinian people are still under siege as we speak today, since they were occupied in 1948 by the people who wanted to create the state of Israel in order to use the state to have access to war machinery in the Middle East, and also to have access in Africa, to be able to have a proximity in North Africa, to destroy the Africans and to also destroy the Indians and the Pakistanis and all the countries in the Asian continent. So they did that successfully. So when I was on YouTube recently, I saw a lot of videos, a lot of young people, especially from other countries, not from South Africa, who were talking about that 1.4 million people, or white people, have invaded South Africa. These are victims of war from Ukraine and victims of war from Israel. Remember, Israel has been at war with Iran. Somehow they have provoked Iran in a way that they could not respond. So when Iran responded to their provocation, Iran was actually has defeated Israel, has destroyed a lot of homes in Israel, has left a lot of Israel. So they have been displaced. it's people who have been displaced by war in Ukraine and people who have been displaced by war in uh, Israel, in a war against Iran. So those people who have been displaced, they're being moved from those countries, from those war-torn countries, into Cape Town, South Africa. Many people may wonder why, because Cape Town is the end of the world, in the south part of the world, and it is the southern tip of the world. Cape Town is the southern tip of the world. So every uh, beyond Cape Town is an ocean, the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, meaning water. The lands are found on the left and the right hand side, and also at the top of the continent. That's where we can find people. So Cape Town is a very important and very strategic point in the world. Uh, when you are from Cape Town, there's no point where you can't reach. You can actually reach anywhere. It's a strategic point of refilling the refueling, refueling their boats. Thank you very much, Precious Malachi, for joining. Says, why is the mainstream media not making noise about what is happening in Cape Town? Because the mainstream media is controlled by the people who are displacing people to Cape Town. The people who are causing the war in Ukraine are the ones who own the mainstream media. So there won't be any noise about it. And as well, they don't want the public or South Africans to become alarmed about it and make noise about it. They want to separate Cape Town from South Africa. They want to take it out of South Africa, make it another country where it's only white people only in Cape Town. Those who are of brown skin will only be servants, will only be slaves in Cape Town. That's what is going to happen. That's what they want to do. So they want white people who are going to help them to vote to take Cape Town out of South Africa. This is what they do every time. Every time they displace people, even black people who are displaced in Mozambique by white people, displaced in Zimbabwe by the violent the violent dollar war in Zimbabwe, the displacing the people in Zimbabwe and coming to South Africa, and displacing the people in the DR Congo because of the minerals that side to come to South Africa, and at the end of the day, displacing even people in Malawi um, through the dollar sabotage, through the financial sabotage. So uh, this countries collapses, and then the people comes here and become the slaves of the system. So when they come here and become the slaves of the system, the black South Africans don't want them to be part of the system, because the famous slave are coming to take our jobs. These are the ways that the children of white people said when white people wanted to encourage their children to go to work when they wanted, because their children were rotting out of laziness in their homes, because black people were doing almost everything in their homes because they were slaves. White people got worried and decided to encourage their children to go and work as well with the slaves. And they encouraged them in a more violent way. They said the slaves are coming to take their jobs, so your jobs, so you need to chase them away. So they were chasing the slaves everywhere, taking their jobs because the slaves are coming to take your jobs. It's the same situation even today. The black people in South Africa are chasing the Zimbabweans, calling them people who are coming to take our jobs. The slaves are coming to take our jobs. That is actually the same struggle of all ages. The same, the same strategy getting implemented since in the 1800. The only difference is time. The implementation of the strategy differs with time only, but the strategy is implemented through different generations of black people. Slaves are coming to take your jobs. So, because we hate the Zimbabweans and our own African people, um, the white people take them and make them slaves in their farms. They fall in love with white people, and when they are given the IDs, they are given the IDs in order to vote for the white men. Because at the end of the day, they are going to be in these farms for several years. And I think if you are in South Africa for 10 years, then you qualify to become a South African. If you were known to be here in South Africa for the past 10 years, then you qualify to become a South African, to hold the South African ID. So those foreigners end up with IDs and voting for the white man. That's why they displace people in different countries in order to create a fake majority in other countries, like they want to do in South Africa. So in South Africa, white people can easily occupy South Africa because the only thing that we can see, the only thing that black people can see when they are traveling in South Africa, it's only the left and the right end of the road belonging to the white man. All the land belongs to white people. The farms belongs to white people. Usually we only given a path, the N1, the N4, or what to travel in between the farms from town to town, but the whole place is owned by white people. So if they want white people to come and occupy South Africa or to come and invade South Africa, they can even have 50 million people invading South Africa and hide them in the farms because they own the farms and we don't know what is in the farms. Kruger National Park, it's a country on its own. It's a separate country on its own. The size of the Kruger National Park, it's equivalent to some countries. So they could come even into the Kruger National Park. There are a lot of areas where black people don't have access to go in. They could go anywhere in all of these farms that they own, we would never know that white people have invaded. So it's much easier for white people to come and invade South Africa and become South African citizens, be given citizenship by the white government at the moment. It's very easier for white foreigners to come and become South Africans at the moment, because the Democratic Alliance would appreciate their votes. They want to use their votes. That would fare well. So I also wanted to talk about the impact of the AI, artificial intelligence, because this is the era where we are moving to, beyond politics. We are moving to the economic structure of the artificial intelligence. When the human beings were given the mind, none of them were aware that the mind is going to overcome them and take over control of their lives. When the human beings got breakthrough and have the ability to think, it was a gift to humanity, because human beings could manifest whatever they wanted using the mind, whatever they wish to happen using the mind. Black the people could be able to manifest. But as time goes, without the knowledge of the mind, human beings have been overtaken by their own minds. Their own minds are manifesting the things that they don't want in their own lives. So human beings have been taken over by their own minds. Artificial intelligence, it's another layer which is coming to human beings, which is going to be another layer of sleep, which will help people to continue to sleep, because this artificial intelligence, they even call it artificial intelligence, not natural intelligence. So it's artificial intelligence, not natural intelligence. So the artificial intelligence which is coming at the moment is going to be good for human beings, but as well bad for human beings at the same time, because it is, if people are not conscious, artificial intelligence is going to take over control of our lives. Um, if you observe on the internet, on YouTube, and maybe also on Facebook, the number of human beings are disappearing. We're actually left with more robots. Robots are talking in YouTube than human beings these days. This is because the artificial intelligence is now taking over. The people can outsource talking from the artificial intelligence, meaning human beings are no more required to speak for themselves. They can create an avatar who can speak for them. So the avatar which is created in, or the online person which is created on YouTube, or in any social media platform, is the one which is representing them, who is talking on their behalf. Uh, if this artificial intelligence is given just 1 hour of my speech, it can be able to make speeches for me, in the next, even forever, in the next 100 years, it can be able to create speeches from one speech that I have made. It already captured my thinking, and it can continue to make speeches for me. So human beings will not be required to speak. They will have that avatar who is going to speak for them. Human beings will not be required to think. Uh, their thinking will be outsourced to AI. AI will um, think for them, will do think for them. Even easy jobs like sweeping your own house, AI is going to take over and sweep the house. So, meaning AI is going to take over all areas of our lives. We're going to have machines cleaning our houses, we're going to have machines cooking, and we're going to have machines driving. Driving will not be necessary for people to learn anymore. So people, their bodies will not be as important in this era that we are going to. The six pack will not be important in the era that we are going to. As long as the avatar has got the the six pack will not be important. The healthy body will not be important in the era where we're going, because your body, even a clean body, will not be important, because you will have all your meetings online through your avatar, through AI. The new form of prostitution will be selling your identity to entities to use you for marketing and other things. That would be the new form of prostitution, which will happen through the AI. So, what is the danger when the AI does this? The danger is uh, the next generation will lose quite a lot, because if you don't use something, you lose it. If you don't use your language, you lose it. You forget the words. So we won't be required to talk. It means we will not use our language. The culture is going to disappear, because the culture comes from the language. So human beings may lose their ability to speech or their ability to logic because of artificial intelligence. Human beings will lose their ability, even their ability to walk, because you won't be required to walk to anywhere. A drone will just fly and drop whatever you want in your doorstep, and you can eat and feed your body through whatever, through the AI. You won't even have to think that you want food. The AI will just suggest to you that the avatars will just communicate and decide what is it that you should be taking. Thank you very much, King Victor Shongo, joining, saying in royalty. And he also says, hi, precious. He also says, hi, precious. If precious, you are still here. So, people are going to lose their ability to walk in the next generation, in some 1, 2 generations to come. People are going to lose their ability to think, because they will be outsourcing their thinking. People are going to lose their ability to talk, because the avatar will be talking on their behalf. People will lose their ability to relate with human beings because the avatar will be relating on their behalf. So this is a layer to create the most stupid human being that has ever lived in the planet. This will be the time of success beyond the politics. All people will have enough to eat. That's why the new world order says you will have enough. You are going to have enough. You are going to be to own nothing and be happy, because in this era production is going to be higher because the robots are going to be the slaves for human beings. Human beings are going to sit down and be served by the robots, the service of the robots. So if human beings have not learned uh, their mind, this will be the greatest jail in which people are going to be imprisoned. This is the greatest jail in which people are going to be imprisoned. If thinking is outsourced from the robots, if transportation is outsourced from the robots, if work is done by the robots, if sweeping in the house is done by the robots, and there's nothing else for human beings to do, then the human beings that are going to be created are going to be the most stupid, the ones that are easier to control. They all depend on electricity. If they switch off the electricity, then the world has ended. So this will be slaves because they will be addicted to. This will be slaves because the slaves are going to be addicted to the service of the artificial intelligence. Let me show this message. King Victor Shong was saying SA is used to an experimental site for a zombie society. Yes, South Africa is going to create a zombie society. It's an experimental site to create a zombie society. That's what they are going to create here in South Africa. South Africans are going to have enough. They will be them what they call the smart cities. The smart cities are going to be built for people where they are going to have access to Wi-Fi, access to water in those smart city, but controlled in and out. Your movements are going to be very, very controlled. So, and then in that regard, then your freedom will only be limited uh, to the ones who are controlling, who will be controlling the artificial intelligence. They are the ones who are going to choose who are the people who are supposed to have the money, and they are the ones who are going to choose who are the people who are not supposed to have the money. Money is controlled and manipulated by few individuals. These individuals are the ones who are creating the artificial intelligence. Why do they create and push the artificial intelligence? Because the natural intelligence it's actually about to take over the artificial intelligence. The people um, The war is actually happening in the spiritual level. Let me say, whatever we're manifesting, it's because of our group consciousness. There's enough people in South Africa or in Africa who have realized the exploitation that white people are doing in Africa. Uh, because of this idea can no longer be sustained. On a spiritual level, it means the idea has been defeated. Initially, there were a lot of people who were sleeping, who couldn't realize the difference between right and wrong. So all this time. This time around, the number of young African people who have awakened to the lie is higher than the number of people who are still sleeping. So, because of this, in the spiritual level, the demons are already defeated. The only place where they are holding on is just here, where they are still in the physical realm, where they are still trying to hold on uh, to their power, trying to hold on to their ill-gotten wealth. I did not read this message. Let me read the message. The issue of the recolonization and the scramble for Africa 2.0 is serious. Black people have been mentally engineered to fear the white man. That is why the media is silent. Uh, South Africans have been zombified. Uh, White people have been able to defeat black people in South Africa, like in all dimensions. One issue that they have used, but in multifaceted way, is the issue of depopulation, the issue of making sure that the population of South Africa becomes stagnant, that they have fought in all directions. They have ensured that all the girls between the age of 15 or all the women in childbearing age, they are all on prevention pills. They have ensured that. They have ensured that they introduce this education which would mislead a young boy to get confused whether she's a boy or a woman. A doctor is now allowed to diagnose that a person is in a wrong skin or is in the wrong body. Uh, you can get sick and go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you that you are actually sick because you are supposed to be a woman, not a man. So you have to transform to become uh, what the doctor has diagnosed you to be. So this is a sick society that they have created. They have managed to take young boys to become yaupis, so that they won't be contributing positively in the fight against um, young South Africans into leagues. Right. They have ensured that families um, are destroyed. the number of divorce uh, skyrocketed. It's actually shocking. The number of homes that are headed by women without men, it's massive. It's massive numbers. This has been intentionally caused by the system in order to try and fight the growth of the population, so that because people can be easily controlled. uh, those who are alive at the moment are satisfied about almost apartheid and colonialism. They are happy about it. So if new children are born, those are the ones that are going to cause problems. Those are the ones that are not wanted. And in other news, Hamas sent millions of Bangladeshi and Pakistanis here. It won't be Hamas, or because Hamas does not have money to send anybody to South Africa. Americans have created Hamas. The US have created all the terrorist organizations. US and the Europeans are the ones who are creating them, terrorist organizations that are going around the world and terrorizing people. So, and they are the ones who are funding the terrorism in Burkina Faso. France, the terrorism in Burkina Faso, in the Sahel state, is funded by the French government and also by the American intelligence. Somebody, I'm not sure what is saying. Tarantula peppercorns. I don't know what is saying there. If anyone knows, you can help me to interpret. If you know what David Rocks is saying there, please help me to interpret what he's saying, because I would like to interact. David, if you can hear me, yeah, please help me understand what you are saying. So there was still talking about the creation of the zombie state in South Africa, which is the AI, the impact of the artificial intelligence. Soon, or very soon, not later, the white government or the dollar is going to collapse. Soon rather than later, the white system is going to collapse because the group consciousness has grown bigger than uh, uh, the people who are ignorant in the continent, who does want white people. At the end of the day, it's about this group consciousness that helps to defeat people. It's not necessarily the guns. The white men trust the guns because in the guns they create money. Their belief is that the weak should not be tolerated. Anything weaker should not be tolerated. They love the weaker people because they are ready to be defeated. That's what they say. They love uh, those who like negotiating because they are easy to be bought, meaning they are ready to be bought out. That is the white system. They came to steal, destroy, and kill. That's what they came to do. And that's what they are doing even at the moment. So, creating another layer of artificial intelligence in which zombies are going to be created, phone zombies are going to be created. People who've got no ability to do anything. If electricity is off, people will not even be able to sweep their houses. If electricity is off, people will not even be able to think, uh, let alone sweep their houses. Thinking will also be a struggle for many people because they would not have learned that skill, that ability to think, because thinking is a skill which is learned by human beings. So if now you don't have to learn that skill, you can outsource it from the artificial intelligence. Anybody, anyone who's got a career at the moment and who's got an ego with their career, they are going to collapse when they learn that the artificial intelligence has taken over their industry. I mean, even doctors, the artificial intelligence is able to conduct operations across countries. Meaning, I saw another doctor performing an operation from on YouTube from the US, performing an operation in Angola successfully. Was it a heart operation? Uh, Meaning the doctor in Angola is no more needed because the AI can actually be able to do a better job than. So the education, the 7-year education to become a doctor is no more relevant because I can just buy a robot who's going to have more information than those who went to school for 7 years. You just plug the robot in the internet, you download whatever you want to download into the robot. The robot knows everything that it has to know. The robot knows how to perform the operations. Uh, the lawyers, the robots are there which can code case studies relating to any case. The robots are available to actually, they can even, um, you can even outsource it using AI, using your own voice, and sooner it will be allowed in because the avatar is going to speak for you in court. You can use your voice in court to speak, to represent yourself. You won't have to need a lawyer. You can just outsource an AI lawyer who is going to use your voice to represent you in court. That's what is going to happen. So even those who are educated are going to suffer some sort of depression when their jobs are taken away, when some sort of frustration when they are their importance, what they think is their importance, is taken away from them. I wanted to uh, warn people about uh, the harmful effects that may come from artificial intelligence. But those who will be able to use the artificial intelligence in a proper way, those who are going to use it as business, are going to be successful, very successful in this era that we are going in. Those who are not going to become the robots themselves, those who are not going to become the human cattle, the ones that they open the gate for them to go and close the gate at night for them to come in, open the door at night for them to come in into the prison. Uh, those ones are going to be the ones who are happy and owning nothing. There will be a lot of violence which will be perpetuated between now, maybe in the next 2 years or so. The white people are going to continue to perpetuate violence among black people who want to be liberated, but they've already been defeated. They are not going to succeed in any way. In the spiritual level, they've already been defeated. The MK party is a spiritual party, so they understand this quite clearly. That's why they approach, many people don't understand the approach that the MK party has taken. The approach that the MK party has taken is very, very strong. Uh, cultures, the cultures even have ways to fight on a spiritual level. If you still remember your culture, the culture can help you fight wars on a spiritual level instead of fighting the war when the war is already physical. You can fight the wars on spiritual level. So the MK party's approach is also fighting the war on a spiritual level before they can fight the wars on a physical level. So the MK party is going to be successful in South Africa, is going Ramaphosa and the white people are going to be defeated. But this will only happen after the last kick of the dying horse has happened. Thank you very much for all those who have joined the session. I would like everybody to click the like button and subscribe. Give us your opinion about the artificial intelligence, which is coming only because there's natural intelligence which is coming, which if people acquire, they are not going to be controllable. That's why they create the artificial intelligence so that they continue to have control over people, because people who will be on the artificial intelligence will miss will most probably intelligence which is available as the artificial intelligence. They are not talking about the availability of the natural intelligence in the planet at the same time with the artificial intelligence, because those who are going to have the natural intelligence are never going to be controlled by the system. So that's why they don't want people to know about the natural intelligence. They want people to know about the artificial intelligence down our throat, so that when the time comes, we're already. Give us your opinion. That's what you tell us what you think about the zombies that are going to be created, ladies and gentlemen.